Did you file a claim with your auto insurance and your claim was denied? Check out this short video to learn how you can appeal the denial. Hey everybody, Barry with the LawFull channel. If you haven't already, would you subscribe to our channel? And if you have any questions or comments, reach out to me. If I can't help you, I'll try and find someone who can. Now let's jump into the video. If you're watching this video, chances are you may have recently got in an auto or motorcycle accident, and this may be your first time dealing with an insurance company. Well, congratulations, get ready for some aggravation. Now, you may go through the process, and in the process of filing your claim is denied for one of many reasons. If that's the case, then what I'm about to tell you will help you guide through the process of appealing the denial of your claim. Okay, so this video really applies to when you have primarily property damage or minor small injuries, not severe injuries. In cases involving severe injuries, I always recommend that people talk to a personal injury attorney. I know it sounds self-serving, but it's the best thing you can do to maximize your compensation. Okay, so there's two situations here. One is you get hit by a third party and you file a claim with their insurance and they deny your claim. What do you do? And secondarily, what if you file a claim with your own insurance and your own insurance denies you? What do you do? Let's take the first scenario where you get hit by a third party and they deny your claim. Well, you only have two options. One is you file a claim with your own insurance and hopefully you have collision coverage, or two, you file a lawsuit. If you only have property damage, okay, and it's relatively minimal, in my home state, I would say less than $10,000 in property damage, you can file a lawsuit in small claims court. It's really made for people to file lawsuits on their own without an attorney. And chances are you're not going to be able to get an attorney involved anyways in a property damage only lawsuit. That's not really the ideal situation that I wanted to talk about in this video. In this video, I wanted to talk about what happens when you file a claim with your own insurance and you get denied. Hey, stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to tell you about a situation when you should never represent yourself after a car accident. Okay, so let's look at the scenario when you're denied by your own insurance company. Well, the first thing I always do is I make them send me a certified copy of my insurance policy. And I tell them, hey, prove it to me. Prove to me that I'm denied based on a clause in the contract. Tell me the clause that you're denying me on. I ask them to document that in writing and then take a look at it. Don't just take your insurance company's word for it. Insurance companies will try to get out of paying you any way they can. I've seen it every which way. So don't just take their word for it. An insurance company could deny your claim for any one of many reasons. Perhaps you were an excluded driver on the policy, or perhaps the policy limits don't meet the level of the damages. Or the one that I see all the time is that the policy has actually lapsed. That's the situation that comes across my desk all the time. So let's say your claim is denied. What do? I already told you that you have to get the insurance policy. I actually contacted my insurer, State Farm, and I asked them to send over a copy of the policy that I have. It took me literally 5 minutes. So there's really no excuse in not being able to get the policy real quick. They'll email it to you, fax it to you. If you want a certified copy of your policy, they may have to mail it to you. But in my policy, it clearly sets forth the terms within which you have to appeal a denial of your property damage. Don't wait to do this because one of the terms in your policy may be a time limit within which you have to file an appeal, especially substandard insurance carriers, some of those lousy insurance companies that we've all had to deal with on a regular basis and which I avoid like the plague. But they may have a 30-day timeline within which you have to file an appeal, and if you don't, they'll try to use that against you to deny your claim and deny your appeal. So I thought I would just show you what's in my policy. You know, basically it just says very simple instructions. You have to let us know about it. There's a time limit in it. And it also sets forth that you're not going to be filing a lawsuit against the insurance company. You have to submit to what's called arbitration. So this is very different, and some people aren't aware of the fact that when you signed your insurance contract, you agreed to arbitrate your dispute against the insurance company instead of filing a lawsuit. So what I have to do is I have to pick an arbitrator. You can find one online or go to the American Arbitration Association. They've got a whole list of people in your area who can help you. And then the insurance company, my insurance company, State Farm, picks an arbitrator. And then the two of those folks get together and they pick a third person to help out arbitrating the claim so that there's an odd number. And then those folks are going to set forth the rules within which you're going to arbitrate your claim. They're going to tell you about discovery. They're going to tell you about the evidence that you have to submit. They're going to tell you about all the rules and requirements that go with the arbitration. One thing I want to caution you on is your insurance contract may also set forth the information that you have to provide them in your appeal letter. So some insurance contracts may require that you provide your evidence up front. So for example, let's say your car is a total loss and they value it at $1,000. Well, you get an appraisal that values it at $3,000. It may be that in your appeal letter, you have to document the fact that you have evidence that proves that your car is worth more. And you have to provide that to them in the appeal letter. So again, I just want to reemphasize, take a look at your insurance policy. It'll set forth the grounds upon which you can appeal and the means by which you're supposed to do it. Okay, so the arbitration date gets set and the arbitrators are picked. You might want to consider hiring an attorney to represent you. However, if there's only property damage, chances are you're not going to be able to find somebody, as I mentioned before. This is something you can do on your own. Listen, arbitration is an informal process. It's not as informal as mediation, for example, where the parties just come together to try and settle a claim, but it's still pretty informal. The arbitrators are likely going to be retired judges. They know you're representing yourself pro se, or on your own, basically. And they're going to be pretty laxed about how you submit evidence and your appearance and the demeanor that you have to take within the arbitration. So don't be hesitant to go ahead and file arbitration. This is something you can probably do on your own. What are some of the pros of an arbitration? One is you get a decision made much quicker than if you file a lawsuit. Even if you file in small claims court where the process is much quicker, with an arbitrator, you can get an arbitration date set in 6 or 8 weeks. You can get your day in court, so to speak, and you'll get your decision back in a couple weeks. So the arbitration process is much quicker. In addition, you're picking one of the arbitrators, and the other side is too. These are going to be people who are probably retired judges who understand the complexities of a property damage and a personal injury case. Whereas if you file a claim in small claims court, you don't know who the judge is. It could be a traffic ticket judge that was reassigned to small claims court. So the experts are going to really make a decision about who's at fault for your accident and whether you should recover or not. So how do you prepare for an arbitration? Well, again, I already mentioned that the arbitrators are going to tell you the rules of the arbitration. So you're going to know how you have to present your evidence. But generally speaking, what you want to do is, if your car was totaled, for example, you're going to want to get your own appraisal. You're going to have to pay for all this stuff on your own, including part of the arbitration, by the way. But you can hire an appraiser to do an appraisal of your vehicle. You may have to have that appraiser actually testify at your arbitration. Again, the rules set forth by the arbitrator will tell you how you have to handle this. But get your receipts together, get your appraisal together, the police report, any documentation you have to support your claim, because chances are you're going to have to admit it at the arbitration as evidence. When you attend the arbitration, put on a decent shirt and a pair of slacks, something to look presentable. Remember, you're trying to beat or defeat a multi-billion-dollar insurance company. So the more professional you look, the more respectable you look, the better off you're going to be. So after the arbitration, that's really your day in court. And there's now going to be a couple-week time lag where the arbitrators meet and they come up with a number or a denial or granting of your appeal, whatever it may be. It's going to take a couple weeks for them to get the numbers in order and get their decision written out and provided to you. And once they do, you'll be able to move forward. But you'll have represented yourself and you won't have taken a denial from an insurance company lying down, which is the thing I really want to emphasize here. We've got to fight the insurance companies because otherwise they're going to try and lowball us every single time they can. Okay, I told you earlier in this video that there is one situation when you should never represent yourself in a car or motorcycle accident or other motor vehicle case, and that's when you have moderate to severe injuries. This is a complex system, and the insurance company knows what they're doing, and chances are you do not. So it's really important to utilize a personal injury attorney to help you through this process. There are so many things that go into this that you're not going to know about. I know it sounds a little self-serving, I apologize, but I've seen it over and over again. People represented by attorneys get their cases taken care of effectively, and they maximize their compensation. So my strong recommendation is if you suffered moderate to severe injuries in an accident, you get some help. I hope this video provided you a little information about the appeals process after an insurance company denies one of your claims. If you have any questions and you need some help, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm an open book on this kind of stuff. And if you haven't already, would you subscribe to our channel? Thanks for checking out this short video, and we'll see you next time.